Hello everyone and welcome to this week's behind the scenes devlog video, and this week again I'm going to be working on the AI for the animals and especially on the hunting behaviour. So for the first part of this week I was just working on some more of the plant species, again just balancing their populations and how many food points they provide and stuff like that. And it was a little bit slow going, it's not exactly the most exciting part of development. But for the rest of the week now, I'm just going to be concentrating on the animals and their behaviours, which is much more interesting to work on. So hopefully I should be able to make lots of progress. So the first species that I'm going to be working on today is the squirrel, and these animals don't particularly do that many interesting things. They're mainly just going to be food for other animals, but I do want them to be able to jump up into the branches of trees, so that's what I'm going to be implementing next. "10 o'clock now, and the squirrels can now jump up into the trees and sit on the branches for a while, and they'll just do this occasionally. Obviously it would be nice if they actually climbed up the trees, but that might be a little bit tricky to implement because all the trees have different shaped trunks and different directions. The trunks aren't all straight, so I'm not really sure how I'd do that. There is a slight problem with the jumping, that they don't seem to quite land on the target. They land with a little bit of an offset, so I'm going to try and fix that. Just fixed the issue with the jumping, so they now land properly on the branch, and it was really silly. It was a bit of code that I'd added for the monkeys to make the monkeys land on the branch with their hands rather than their feet, so it would look like they're swinging, and I'd forgotten to remove that code, which was why there was a bit of an offset. Just finished making this new tree model for Equilinox, and I know I'd previously said that I was finished with all the models for the game, but I realised that the squirrels didn't really have anything to eat, so I just quickly made this hazelnut tree, and this will have nuts that fall off the tree, and then the squirrels will be able to eat them. So the new nut tree is now in the game, and you can see it here, and this produces nuts which fall off the tree every now and again. And then of course the squirrels can eat those nuts. And speaking of eating, I'm going to have some lunch now, and then I'm going off to tennis. Back to work after tennis now, and the next animal that I've just finished off is the wild boar, which digs up potato plants and sends potatoes flying all over the place, which then other animals can eat. And I just had to fix one bug with this, which was that the potatoes weren't spawning if the potato plant was dug up when it's not in view of the camera, because the potato spawning is part of the death animation, and death animations don't show when they're not in view, so I just had to fix that. Lastly, this afternoon I was just working on a couple more animal species and getting them crossed off the to-do list. One of those species was the lizard, which you can see in the game here, and then I also worked on the desert hare, which you can see here. And these two animals don't really have any particularly exciting behaviours. They're mostly just going to be used as food for other animals. Just finishing up for the day now, and this evening I was working on a few plant species, just doing their settings and environmental requirements. And I also just did a bit of editing for this week's devlog video for the stuff that I filmed today. But now I'm going to get to bed. So today I'm going to be working on the hunting behaviour, and I've just added the foxes back into the game so that I can start testing it. And there's lots of little loose ends that I need to finish off with this behaviour. So firstly, you can see that they're all using the bees attack animation to attack the sheep, which obviously they shouldn't be doing. I need to make it possible for each animal to have its own attack animation. Also, I need to be able to set which animal they hunt, because at the moment it's just only sheep. And I also want to make it possible for different animals to drop different amounts of meat. Obviously, smaller animals shouldn't drop as much meat as the larger animals. 10:30 now, and I've already sorted out quite a few things to do with the hunting system. So firstly, the foxes now won't go hunting if there's already some meat still to be eaten in their area. So you can see here there's some meat in the area, so they won't bother going hunting. But if I remove this meat, then after a while they will hunt down a new sheep to get some more meat, as you can see here. And I also now made it possible to set what animal they hunt in their species file. So I can set this to any animal, and for example here you can see the foxes hunting the guinea pigs. It is 12:30 now, and I've been trying to do some work on the attack animation for the fox, but as you can see it's not going particularly well at the moment. I've had lots of trouble with this. It's just very glitchy, and the movement component keeps kind of interfering with the attack animation code, so it's causing a bit of difficulty at the moment. Also, I just noticed that the sheep are still wandering into the water when they shouldn't be, which is something else that I need to fix. So I'm going to take a bit of a break now. I'm going to go to the shop, get some stuff for lunch, have some lunch, and then try again this afternoon, and hopefully things will go a little bit better. So back to work now, and I've been having another go at sorting out the attack animation system, and it's gone a bit better this time. So you can see the new animation for the fox. Obviously it's still not finished, but it's a lot less crazy than it was before. It's a lot more controlled, and this will be much easier to work with. I also made the system a lot nicer, so it pauses between attacks now, and I can make sure that it's finished doing its movement before it tries attacking and things like that. So it's just a lot more controlled now, which is nice. But now I'm going to do something else. Actually, I want to make some new models for meat, so that different animals can drop different types of meat. Just finished making this new model for bird meat and all of the various eating stages, and I think this is actually the only other meat model that I'm going to need, so I'm going to add this into the game now. So the new bird meat is now in the game, and I had a couple of bugs with it, but it's all now sorted out. So this is of course dropped when the fox kills any birds, like the chickens here, so you can see that the meat is dropped, and the fox will now take that back to its home area, and then it will be able to eat it. So in the end I decided that I did actually need one more meat model, which is for the small animals like rabbits and guinea pigs. So I've just made the models for that here, and you can see it in the game when the guinea pig dies here. So I'm going to take a bit of a break now. I want to do some baking. I'm going to try and make some kind of bread-like muffins, and then I'll get back to work on the hunting system. To finish off today, I'm going to be working on the final fish species, which is a carnivorous fish, so it's going to be eating the other fish and hunting them. The hunting behaviour for these fish is going to be slightly different from the foxes. Once it catches the fish, it's just going to eat it straight away instead of attacking it and then getting the meat from it. And that's what I'm going to be working on now. So I haven't quite finished off the hunting behaviour for the fish yet. I'll have to finish that off either tomorrow or early next week. But what I did do was to make the smaller fish scared of the bigger fish, so you can see that they now try and swim away from the fish if it gets too close. It is Saturday morning, and this morning I'm just working on fixing a few bugs. Firstly, I fixed the issue with the sheep wandering into the water, so they don't do that anymore. And I'm also just about to start work on a bug to do with the entity AI when they're trying to go to a certain point. If they start too close to that point when the AI starts, then they'll end up just circling around their target. So I'll fix that in a minute. And there's also an issue with the direction of the particles when a beaver's cutting down the tree. It's not being correctly calculated, so I'll fix that as well. But apart from that, today I'm just going to be doing editing for this week's devlog video, so that's pretty much going to be it for this week. It's been a bit of a slower week, I haven't got so much done, but I think I'm still just about on schedule. I wanted to finish off all of the species in August, and I think I should still be able to do that, so that's good. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.